Hi, it's Karon Thackston from marketingwords.com and copywritingcourse.com, and I have a copywriting critique for you today that I'm going to do on actually the copy for this video. It caught my attention when I was on YouTube the other day and decided to use it as a good example, and it's kind of fun too. You see that it starts off with an animated video, and those are always cool. What I usually do, and there are exceptions to every rule, but most of the time when I'm writing copy or when I'm teaching people to write copy, it's based on three things, a three-step formula, if you will: problem, solution, proof. So I want you to watch this video, I'll play it in just a second, and make some notes. Can you pick out how they identify the problem or the problems, how they outline the solutions, and how they offer proof of performance from their company? So I'll play the video and then I'll come back and talk to you about it in just a sec.
The carefree days of placing an ad in the newspaper, sending out mailers, and renting a billboard are gone for many companies, as traditional advertising costs have skyrocketed and the consumer has become less patient with traditional sales methods. Newspaper and TV ad buys can cost $3,000 to $5,000 and are gone the next day. Billboards may get a lot of eyes, but they are limited to one location. Luckily, there is a method of advertising that won't bleed your ad budget dry while covering your entire area. A vehicle wrap from Franken signs will turn your car, truck, or van into a traveling billboard that advertises your company the way you want. Eye-popping full-color vehicle graphics will get people talking about your business. Your vehicle wrap will campaign relentlessly, day and night, rain and shine, 365 days a year. And as your vehicle goes along on its day-to-day travels, the message can reach thousands of potential customers. The bang for your buck is enormous compared to your standard billboard. It's easily removable, and it doesn't hurt the paint. It actually protects it. Franken Signs uses only the top-of-the-line 3M vinyl films. Applied directly to your vehicle's surface, the imagery and message is only limited by your imagination. But we don't just stop at cars. Wraps are ideal for all number of vehicle types, whether full, half, or three-quarter coverage. Our vehicle wraps are great for common cars, trucks, trailers, emergency vehicles, boats, trains, and even aircraft. Call Franken Signs today for an estimate on a wrap for your vehicle. Our friendly associates are waiting to help you breathe new life into the value of your advertising budget.
That's really cool, don't you think? And overall, I think they did a really great job with the video that they created. Even if you're not going to write copy for a video, stick around because you're going to be able to use what I'm talking about with practically any type of copy that you write. They identified the problem really well. I've got some notes here I'm going to share with you. You compare what I have to what you wrote down as well. When identifying the problem, they took a look at not only other vehicle wrap companies, vehicle sign companies, they took a look at every other form of advertising, or most other forms of advertising, because the consumer would not necessarily just be comparing vehicle wrap companies. If they're looking for ways to market their product or service, they were probably considering direct mail, email, broadcast, billboards, all the other things that were mentioned in this video. So I really applaud Franken Signs for including a good comparative view of who the competition was and identifying problems with each of those alternatives. They mentioned that the cost was way up, that consumers were getting very impatient with these types of advertising and whatnot. So well done, 2 thumbs up on identifying the problem. As far as the solution goes, they also really nailed it when they were listing benefits of car wraps, of these different vinyl signs that they put on the cars. They said they were affordable, they were mobile, they worked pretty much 24/7. You know, you could park your car or your van or whatever the vehicle was out in front of your business, and it would be a billboard. You could drive it around town, and it would be a mobile sign, and they named all of these benefits and solutions to the high cost and the impatience of the consumer that they just outlined before. So 2 out of 3 they did an excellent job with, and I applaud them for that. Now here's where we get to the problem. Proof. Now they did say that Franken Signs uses the top of the line 3M vinyl film to make their vehicle signs, and that's wonderful. But you mean to tell me that if I go to some other websites and I start investigating other sign companies like this, that I'm not also going to find that every one of them, or a good portion of them, is also using 3M vinyl film? So it really doesn't differentiate them much unless they are one of the few companies that use this, or if they are an exclusive company that's using this, at which point they would need to identify that very clearly in their video. It also mentioned the types of vehicles that they could create vehicle wraps for. Again, if I go searching around online and start doing some comparison shopping, I bet you I'm going to find that all these other sign companies, these vehicle wrap companies, are able to provide vehicle signs and wraps for the same types of vehicles that Franken Signs is. So that's not a differentiating point. The purpose of providing proof of performance is to set yourself apart. You need a unique competitive advantage, what I refer to as a UCA. It is very different than a USP, which is a unique selling proposition. Now, these may be unique selling propositions. They are benefits that could be listed. Perhaps not every company does these. But in order to step out in front of all the other options your customer has and make your company the obvious choice, you have to really nail your unique competitive advantage. What sets you apart and ahead of the competition? And they did not do a very good job with that. If the 3M film was something that was a big draw, if it lasted longer, if they were one of the few companies that were using it, if they were one of a few companies that were licensed or trained to do it, that would set them apart. They would be better off, however, to create a UCA, a unique competitive advantage, that deals with their company. What if all of a sudden 3M stops making this type of film, or 3M goes out of business? Well, then if their unique competitive advantage were dependent on what another company did, it could easily be taken away from them. So awards they've won, customer ratings, you know, if they have go online and look and see on all these different ratings websites that they have an overall 99% customer approval rating or something to that effect, you could use that as a unique competitive advantage. There are tons of them. In my step-by-step copywriting course, I devote an entire video module to 28 different ways to create a unique competitive advantage, because this is something that a lot of businesses struggle with, and it is so important to be able to get this right so that you can clearly set yourself apart. The good news is it only takes one. You don't have to have 5 unique competitive advantages. You don't have to have 22 unique competitive advantages. It only takes one. So that, I would say, they need to do a little bit of work on. Now, implementing this, I've gotten a lot of feedback lately from people saying, I love your videos, I love your blog posts, I love what you teach online, but I walk away thinking, great, that's excellent information. Now, what do I do with it? So I'm going to try to begin to talk about implementation in different formats as often as I possibly can. If, for instance, you had a e-commerce website and you sold small kitchen appliances, blenders, food processors, toasters, whatever, panini presses, whatever you want to include in there. What you could do with this problem solution proof on a grand scale on your home page or on your About Us page or something to that effect is set yourself apart. Talk about the fact that other websites don't have the fill in the blank that you have, the selection, the quality of products, the price points that you have, the fastest delivery that you have. They don't have the people, the employees that you have that are devoted to this. Maybe they haven't been around as long as you've been around, so that gives a big trust factor. You know, if you can say we've been online since 1998, you know, that's a huge benefit online, and it could really set you apart and be your unique competitive advantage. When you are creating copy for your products on your e-commerce website, you can use the problem solution proof formula. It doesn't take a 2-minute video. You can go through it ultra quick if you're doing 60-word e-commerce product descriptions, for example. Let's see, food processor. You could say something about, and this is off the top of my head, and it's just meant to be a funny example. So something like, you know, don't put yourself at risk for tendinitis, constantly chopping. You know, leave the tissue in the cabinet when you're cutting onions or something to that effect. With a Cuisinart BPF 2200 supercharged food processor, all your chopping chores will be done in a matter of seconds. Toss it in the dishwasher for easy cleanup, and then on the page for proof of performance, you could allow customers to leave customer reviews. You could allow them to give a star rating without leaving a customer review. That's really easy to do with different types of plugins and software scripts where they could just click how many stars. That would give proof of performance for that particular item, and you would do that with every item on your e-commerce site. Now, what if you were an office? You were providing some sort of a service like a weight loss clinic or something to that effect. You were just a small local weight loss clinic. Problem, of course, is going to be any number of things. People losing motivation when it comes to weight loss. People getting wrapped up in myths and not understanding the core values and processes that work when it comes to long-term weight loss. People not finding another group to feel comfortable with and to give them the support that they need and the accountability that they need. Maybe it's a matter of time or distance. Perhaps you have 3 or 4 locations all across your city and the competition only has 1. Maybe you offer virtual meetings online and your competition does not offer virtual meetings online, something to that effect. So you could set yourself apart that way. Then for the problems, you could talk about lack of time. You could talk about the fact that everybody's so busy they don't have time to look for the most effective ways to lose weight. They don't have time to do a lot of the things that they find online are good suggestions and they wish they could do. Because you make it more convenient, maybe you're a more technologically minded weight loss clinic, you can offer online meetings instead of them having to drive all the way across town. Then for the proof of performance, you could again list some of the things that we've talked about. Consumer reviews that you've gotten on different websites, customer testimonials from people, and success stories from the ones that have successfully lost weight by using your clinic. You could put awards and certificates that you've gotten. If you have supported local community events, maybe Relay for Life, which is for cancer research and raising money for the prevention of cancer. Maybe there's another local charity that you're involved with. You could put their logos and symbols on your website to set you apart, to let people know that you are community minded. There's a lot of different ways you could work this. So you can see quickly with those examples that problem solution proof is not just for copy for videos. It can be used for video copy, e-commerce copy. It can be used for B2B copy on services sites, B2C copy. It works in all different formats. If you have questions, I'd love for you to click over to marketingwords.com/blog, and you will find this post on there. Just click to the reply or the comments section and let me know what you're struggling with. Be glad to provide you with a little bit of help. This is Karon Thackston with marketingwords.com and copywritingcourse.com. Hope you have a wonderful week.